So,
I think we are live now.
yes, we are live.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Are we audible? Are we visible?
Yeah, can you hear us? Hopefully, you can.
So, yes, after pandemic, then you cut down on rice, and then after that?
Um, yeah, so that slowly started there, and then we just had more vegetables. And then when I met this doctor, she said about protein intake, and that just
Mhm.
helped with the cravings for carbs. And just managing, yeah, the diet just helped overall.
Light.
Yeah, so it just helped overall with just understanding that protein, how protein works, because as Indians, we don't have much proteins in general.
Exactly. Even I'm a vegetarian, but I recently started eggs. And as a family, we have shifted to low carb. It's been 2 months.
Oh,
And for
wow.
Shivina, we started 2 months after her diagnosis. Like I met this wonderful lady online who inspired me to go low carb, and then she gave me the name of that book called Diabetes Solution by Richard Bernstein.
Yes, I've read his book. I read his book.
Yeah.
I read his book on the phone, so he was really good. I would also recommend this endocrinologist who I was with, Dr. Roshni Sangani. Her book is Turnaround Diabetes. She has a
Okay.
chapter. There's a chapter on about me in that book as well. But
Oh,
I think she's
okay.
an absolutely brilliant doctor in India, and she's helping Indians with low carb, helping with awareness for protein, speaking to multiple people. She's a doctor. She studied in the US, but she came to India, and she's been helping people. She's also vegetarian, Gujarati, but then she started
Okay.
having eggs, so she has loads of eggs, and I think she's been an inspiration. Pretty much changed my life with her. So
So she's practicing in Mumbai right now.
yes, yes, but it's virtual, so anyone from any part of India can just meet her, and she guides you in that
Okay.
journey overall. So, yeah, I think you just need that one person to help you out, or someone to just inspire you. And I think the universe sent her to me at the right time. I had hit rock bottom in my life, and I just needed
Mhm.
someone to guide me or tell me what is right and wrong. And yeah, having her just helped, and it's been positive journey since the last 20, no, 12 years. I met her 2013. Yeah, 12 years now. So from that time, my HbA1cs have been lot more better, for sure. Yeah, but CGMs are a game changer. That is a different conversation, but
That's
that's
true.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Completely.
that's true because all your doses and everything depends on CGM. Because I had multiple CGM failures while I was using Libre 2 Plus, while Shivina was on Libre 2 Plus. We had almost 12 sensor failures in a week. And during that time, it was so difficult for me to adjust her doses, like even the basal. We are also doing low carb, and she's honeymooning.
Hmm.
So she's only on basal right now. And even the small, minute adjustments were so difficult to make without CGMs. We're
Yeah,
truly blessed, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Should we do a quick introduction of ourselves?
Yeah,
So
maybe we can start. Are we visible and audible to everyone?
I hope we are. If someone can respond and say we are, I think that that helps us understand better.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, I think.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah. So I think if we are, do you want to start with an introduction and then I
Yeah,
can?
yeah, sure. So, yes, welcome everyone to the Blue Circle workshop that we conduct every Sunday. And we've been doing these workshops since 2020. We've done 250 workshops so far. And Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation is an inclusive community for all the people living with diabetes and their caregivers. So I am Abhilasha, mom to a type 1 toddler, Shavina, and we are living in Dubai, UAE. Shivina was diagnosed here itself. So, and I have Liva with me, who herself is a type 1. Maybe Liva, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Sure. So I'm Liva. Hi. This is my first Blue Circle workshop, so please bear with me. I've been living with type 1 diabetes for nearly 29 years. Was diagnosed in December 1996, a very, very long time. Um, and a lot has changed since then. I've moved to the UK. It's been over 3 years now, moved in 2022. And that's honestly made a huge difference in my life. Uh, but looking forward to this discussion so that we encourage people from our learnings and things that we've done. Also, from a caregiver perspective, I think it's important to hear your version, Abhilasha, as someone who actually takes care of it, someone living with diabetes, and someone here living with diabetes. It'll be an interesting discussion with both our stories.
So we are going to cover every aspect of diabetes, the tools, the management, how we are managing in a different country. And I have had people from India tell me that it is much easier to manage diabetes in the West, UK or Dubai than India because of the tech advancement here. But I'd like to tell you guys that it is not. India, when it comes to cost of insulin, CGM, and pumps, India is a better option. In Dubai, I source linked CGM from the website because devices are not covered here in insurance. So I have to source all the devices from Link's official website. And trust me, you guys are getting much better deal than me in India. And maybe Liva can tell us about CGM and pumps, like what is the waiting period of pumps in the UK?
That's very interesting. I didn't realize that about Dubai. I honestly thought you'd get diabetes tech there. So for me, for sure, it was much better in the UK. I've never been on the CGM in India. I used to do 8 blood tests a day. Uh, that was in the recent years before I never did blood tests at all because it's been nearly 30 years of diabetes. So in between, I'd stopped. But since moving to the UK, the NHS here, they give you because you hear a lot of negative stories about the NHS. I'm here to give you positive stories about NHS. NHS take care of people with diabetes a lot and cancer. Like if you have some chronic medical condition, NHS will keep following up with you. They will keep mailing, calling you, messaging you, because it's for them it's a proper condition where they move you to the hospital care. The GP, so we have GPs here who take care of the regular people. The hospitals here are directly in touch with you. You have a diabetes nurse who sits there and educates you. So when I first moved to the UK, and I was on an insulin pump, which was the Medtronic 640G, still on it. I was told by my doctor back in India, who has a friend in the UK, to just get a prescription from her. So we got a prescription letter from my endocrinologist in Mumbai, very clear saying that I'm a type 1 on insulin. She's on the insulin pump. Insulin pump has helped her reduce her HbA1c. She needs to manage her hypoglycemia. So you mentioned such important key bits, the positive sides of the insulin pump. And she requested that I continue being on the insulin pump because I was told that they don't give the insulin pump to everyone because obviously it's a cost and NHS pays for this. So you don't have to pay for it, NHS pays for it. And then the first meeting itself, I very clearly went there, had that conversation, and they were happy to put me on the pump because, firstly, the pump is self funded. I paid for it. So they're not paying for it. But they were continuing with the consumables because a pump has a lot of consumables for someone who doesn't use a pump, which needs to be changed every 3 days or if you extend further. So they were willing to pay for me. And they did that quite quickly. I came here with a supply of a year-long supply. I had like 365-day supply. I was so scared of NHS and how UK would be, but they actually helped me with that. In terms of CGMs, um, people with type 1 diabetes are most likely given the CGMs. Um, Type 2 is not given. Let me clarify that. Type 2 is different for type 1 that they give you CGMs in the UK. And I was given the Freestyle Libre 2, which I was not a big fan of because it was very inaccurate. And I kept doing blood tests. But the fact that they gave me a CGM, at least I could see the trends, at least helped me give me some idea because before I knew nothing. It was just random 2 hours blood test to now seeing the spike, correcting it, managing it. It helped me a lot more. But I used to still do blood test. So NHS pays for that. So it's a good thing if you, as a type 1, you come here, you mentioned you have hypoglycemias or your blood sugars are not perfect. They help you to manage that overall. And then After 2 years, I requested them to, for a while, I've been asking them, they moved me to Dexcom. So I'm
Okay.
now on the Dexcom G6, which is extremely accurate. It helps you calibrate. Um, but that is, they give people who are on a very tight control, because Freestyle gives you a range, Dexcom gives you accuracy. I prefer Dexcom, so they're giving me that. I'm now moving to Omnipod, the
Okay.
Omnipod 5, which is a hybrid closed loop. So in the UK,
Mhm.
they've also ensured in the next 5 years, everyone with type 1 diabetes will be in the hybrid closed loop. So your CGM speaking to your insulin pump, all through NHS. Priority will be given to children, people who are women who are pregnant. So they've given that layer of it. I'm supposed to move to the Omnipod soon enough. So here NHS covers most of this.
So here, most companies, like my husband is working, I'm a housewife. So my husband, I'm on dependent visa, both me and my daughter. So we do get medical coverage here. Insurance covers like 20% co-payment is there.
Okay.
So hospital bills, doctor visits, and all the medicines are included in it. But devices are not covered, like CGMs, the insulin pens, those are not covered. And pumps are also not covered, and glucometer, extra supplies are also not covered. So insurance covers your hospital visits, doctor visits, hospitalization charges. But even though hospitals are means it depends on the band of my husband. Like depends on the category, band
Yes,
category
yes, yeah,
of your
got it.
office. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
but
very, very.
in emergency situation, every hospital is covered. Like we have Al Jalila Children Hospital. Shivina, after being diagnosed as type 1, we went to Al Jalila. She was in DK, and we had like emergency was covered at that time.
Okay.
So my endo is from different hospital, and whenever there is an emergency, I prefer going to Al Jalila because of their team, and it's really good. The It's owned by the ruler of Dubai, and the hospital is really very good. It's amazing. Like I
Oh,
got my child back in that hospital. I can never forget that night. Yeah.
that, and I wanted to actually dive into a little bit over the diagnosis part, but just clarifying for from a tech perspective and for anyone who wants to know, in the UK, if you have the CGM, you get blood tests, but in a very limited amount, because obviously they're funding your CGM. They reduce
Okay.
that because I want a very perfect control for my blood sugar. I actually get blood test strips, some from India. When my parents come over, I use a Contour Plus. I've trusted the Contour Plus all my life, but they give you very specific blood tests. So they give you the glucometers, they give you blood test strips, but I didn't find it very accurate, and they give very limited amount. With a Dexcom, it makes sense. With Freestyle Libre, it did not. They give you the Pench. They give you Lantus and the fast acting rapid insulin. Nova Rapid is what I use. Just in case of a pump failure, they give you these backup options.
Lots of
Just in
options.
case, yeah, they give you those options here as well, because it's really good. You never know when you require them. They give you
Hmm.
details, they give you some basic things when you start out, so you have everything that you need. They don't give you the glycogen pen for extreme hypoglycemias. I asked them recently, they give it to people who have severe hypoglycemia and who have required hospital requirements and start, so they get the glycogen pen. But if it's an emergency, you can always go to the A&E here. You can just call the ambulance will pick you up, and you can just go there at any point. We have consultants who meet you based on your blood glucose levels and any complications, or if you're pregnant, based on what stage on life you are, they will ensure that they meet you through that phase. They also they have the eye screening test, because that's one of the major things you need to do here. That is covered. And in fact, the UK has one of the best technologies for screening your eyes. My aunt here is an ophthalmologist, so she explained the entire procedure. But they take screening, they actually take images of your eyes, and they keep checking it every year. So they've seen a complication in my eye. But they've also told me what the solution is. They also ensure that your vision is proper with good control. So, which for me is a big thing, because that cost of eye test is
Hmm.
reduced.
Get reduced.
Yeah, they're doing a third test for me in this year. just to ensure that
Okay.
it isn't progressive. Despite my HbA1c level, I've been living with it for nearly 30 years. But this was not
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed in India because my
Okay.
ophthalmologist would look with those light and look into your eye. This is a eye scan, and they keep checking it every with multiple lights and people looking into it. The other free thing which I didn't know is they do optician check also. Your specs, they do a full check
Okay.
of it with pressure, the number. They also do a side vision test. So all of this is all free for people living with diabetes. You get insulin free. You can give those. They give you prescription bits, and you can keep prescribing for it with an
Okay.
NHS app. They also give a diabetes medical exemption card,
Okay.
because what happens in the UK, for anyone who wants to know, is every time you every time you go to a GP and you ask for a prescription, people have to pay for the prescription, approximately £10. But as someone living with a chronic medical condition, you need to keep getting this every 2 months. So you can't keep paying £10 for it. So people with diabetes, definitely they get a medical exemption card. You can show it and you can get, I mean, you don't have to pay for that. And likewise, any medical condition you get, you just say you have type 1 diabetes, they'll immediately speed up the process. So I mean, personally, I think in the UK there's been a lot of help with this, especially diabetes tech. One of the best options you get is in the UK, in my opinion. In India, I did not have so many options because Medtronic had the monopoly of it.
Mm-hmm. So here we have Emirates ID and all our bank details, health details, everything is linked to Emirates ID. It's more like a Aadhaar card of India, but a better version. Like when Shivina was hospitalized first, we upon discharge, we didn't have to pay the amount then and there itself. We easily came back home and it gets updated in your health app. Like Dubai Health is the health app, and it gets the due amount is credited in your name in that health amount account. So, for which you have to again, there's a lengthy process of applying for the insurance and all. Once it gets cleared, then the app itself gets updated. Even the second time when we went, just within 1 month of discharge, they did not ask for payment then and there itself.
Oh, okay.
So, that is the best part that I observed here.
Yeah, yeah, that does sound.
Yeah, that is really good because in India we have to pay before the admission only they take the amount. And here, even after setting the patient, releasing the patient, they don't ask for the amount then and there. You can pay it at like 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
When you mentioned that, I remembered my diagnosis story when I was diagnosed. This is way back in 1996. And my parents are middle class, so it's not that we had so much money. In fact, diabetes was
Mhm.
known as a rich man's disease. I remember, and I was telling you this before, but I'm not sure everyone heard this, but at that time, no, my family, no one has diabetes. 1996, no one knew what diabetes is. No one knew what type 1 diabetes is. My mother's a doctor, but obviously that's not the first thing you think when you see your child is unwell. And when I was taken to the hospital, they gave me glucose and my blood sugar kept getting worse. And my mother, the only reason she could help with the diagnosis because she got the smell of ketones, and they rushed
Mhm.
me to the ICU. But just because you mentioned about the cost, they first said we need money, we need a deposit. And the doctors are sitting there saying it's diabetes. Obviously, my parents are overwhelmed. It's coming out of nowhere. And they said, get insulin, get this, get these medicines. We need to help her, we need to save her life. She has 24 hours. Her blood sugar, I think my blood sugar was 600 or something. I'm not sure. I was in DK, I was unconscious. I remember my father telling this story to me. I think he said this very recently, that there was a pharmacy there, midnight, because it was ICU, so you rush out and get things there. And they said get insulin. Insulin is so expensive, and was not probably the best quality you have today that we got in 1996. And my dad went there and he asked for this, and he didn't have money because you don't leave the house thinking it's going to be such a big
Culture
diagnosis.
and magic.
Um, and then that man said, I could see the desperation in my father's eyes. So my father was willing to give his wedding ring and said, keep it here, it's gold, but I need to save my daughter's life. But the chemist there said, I can see the desperation in your eyes. Take the insulin, save your daughter's life. And then obviously my dad went back and paid. But I was just thinking, at that point when it's such a big diagnosis, it's a life and death situation, people will ask for money first, not save the life. And
Exactly.
if that chemist wouldn't have helped my father, I wouldn't get the insulin. He had to go at midnight request, because you need insulin to live. And people don't realize it's like oxygen for someone with diabetes. So
Exactly.
that when just mentioned that, I was just remembering my dad mentioning how difficult it was, and he had to
Very good.
choose between giving the wedding ring versus gold because that's all he had, or save his daughter's life. So yeah, in that way I'm grateful for Western countries. I mean, I don't have the greatest opinion of the US because I was in the intensive care unit in the US as well. Wow, every hospital. I go to the UK, I'm the hospital. US was very hard because of the insurance and how it functions. They ask for money right there and they double
Okay.
it. So for me, comparing to India and the US was a horrible experience that I had. There's a lot of money and the insurance was not covering it. So I honestly like the UK because of how they manage it, how NHS helps you out, how people always check on you. And there are charities here, like Diabetes UK, which I'm the co-chair for lived experience, which is a good way to get all the lived experience together, share their stories. We have meetings. I have one next Saturday, but it's all the lived experience members. So similar to
Okay.
how Blue Circle workshop is, but they have proper meetings with healthcare professionals coming and meeting you there in person, talking to you about it, and they spread awareness. So I learned a lot through these, being part of these charities as well. So personally, I feel UK is better than the US. Sorry, whoever likes US.
Speaking of charities, we also have your Al Jalila Foundation, and there are many foundations that funds people with severe diseases. And if you qualify for it, all your treatments and everything is free. Like even in Al Jalila Hospital, if one once qualify for that for the foundation criteria, they can get the all the hospitalization charges, including the medicines and regular visits, are free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they have
So you
found.
need to qualify for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'm glad they've found that. Um, do
And
you?
speaking of glucagon for children, it is compulsory here. Like I
Oh,
do have two of these, and my doctor suggested to keep two of these, even though after shifting to low carb, hypos are much easier to catch. But still, I keep these because I'm not confident right now. Maybe after 2, 3 years, I can avoid. And in the last workshop, I mentioned someone saying that glucose gel are not available in India. So even I don't keep glucose gel here. I treated hypos with honey or sugar and then maybe a thin slice of apple. And in India, if glucose gels are not available, maybe you can try making what we call chashni in India, like cane sugar mixed with water. It comparatively has less shelf life, but you can still try with it if glucose gel is not available.
oh, interesting. Here, I mean, here they don't specifically give glucose gels, or I haven't been given. Um, but it's more of how you want to take care of your management. If you get a lot of hypos,
Mhm.
for example, these CGMs, the NHS,
Mhm.
your diabetes nurse can see it as well. They have access to your
Mm.
data. So then they
Okay.
teach you, and then they tell you you're getting too many hypoglycemias. You need to change your dosage. They help you with those, and then it's your choice on what you want to do specifically. But I've seen this question in some of the chats here. And I see that someone has already mentioned Dr. Roshni Sangani. Yes, she's a doctor who changed my life. But she's the one who's also mentioned about hypoglycemia and how to treat it. Because before,
Okay.
when I used to get hypo, my mother, like you, was very, very scared of, because I've never had like a very severe episode of it. But when you get the hypoglycemia, obviously you get so scared because it's obviously one of the most horrible feelings to have. We would always eat a lot of things. There was never a limit because a feeling of hypoglycemia can last for long, though your blood sugar changes. You just keep feeling that because it impacts you. And if you don't have a CGM, you can't see how quickly it speeds up. So I've had a phase where if my blood sugar is probably 40, of this is before before I should take, when I didn't take care of myself, you just shoot up to 260. And I didn't know what I was doing wrong because I thought I was doing it correctly, but I wasn't, till I was taught the 15-15 rule. So take 15 grams of carbs, check your blood sugar in 15 minutes, see
Minutes.
how
Yeah.
much it is in. Just ensure, give it enough time to manage it, and just breathe. Breathing helps a lot, and then see where you are, because that impact comes in a lot. And sometimes you forget to breathe because it can be a very, very scary experience. So I think that was, for me, that was a learning, and that helped me manage a lot. So today I just switch off my pump when my blood sugar is dropping, because the Dexcom shows an arrow dropping down this way. Immediately shut the pump, so no additional insulin comes in, and I just calculate if I've done an exercise, what have I eaten, am I stressed, why is this dropping so much, and I usually am very well aware, and that just helps manage it. So I very rarely have actually eaten to help with my blood sugar right now. I've gotten into a much better phase where I'm able to trust it, manage it better, and I even do 16 to 18 hours fast.
Oh,
Uh,
nice. That helps a lot. It increases insulin sensitivity. Yeah.
it does help
Fasting.
that. Yeah, the intermittent fasting helps, but because I'm actually a very skinny person, but since moving to the UK, I've actually gained 10 kilos muscle weight, not fat. So that has helped
Hmm.
me a lot with my insulin sensitivity as well. I started doing resistance training and managing a lot of these. So that has helped me, the blood sugar being, I mean, sometimes it's just brilliant, it's just a perfect line. But fasting, low carb diet
Helps a
actually
lot.
makes such a huge difference in those spikes itself. So you don't get hypos because you aren't taking insulin to correct it. And then having a more moderate protein diet helps.
Exactly.
That has helped a lot. And I know that some people had some questions on protein. So maybe you should talk about keto diet.
Protein powder. He's asking about protein powder. I have to read the ingredients and then comment on that. And yes, speaking about hypos, I have tried dextrose powder as well, but it did not work for me. And that 15 grams carb also doesn't work for me because it is way too much for Shivina. So what I generally do is I treat her with diluted honey that I keep changing every 3 days, and with an oral syringe. And then I have to give her a small slice of apple or maybe some protein. If I have nut butters, then I give her nut butter 1 tablespoon. Otherwise, I give her protein or one thin slice of apple. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it
And
depends on what works for person to person. So,
exactly,
insulin
yeah.
sensitivity, what people prefer. I also still carry
So,
glucon D powder. My mother has,
that also
she keeps,
helps.
she's made bottles, and it's ridiculous because I'm so old today. She still does that. Every time she meets me, she'll come with glucose bottles. She puts it in the bathroom,
Mhm.
so like when you wake up, you can wake up and get, even whether it's a blood pressure rise as well, drop, or blood sugar. You can faint if you go in the toilet. She keeps a. It's funny. She came to
Glucose bottle, yeah.
kept one there. She's one kept next to me. She goes around keeping glucose bottles. When I was younger, she would give my friends glucose bottles so that if anybody, because we didn't have cell phones at that time, how do you get in touch?
Mhm.
So everyone,
Mhm.
people had it. I think my teacher had Glucon D just so that someone could save my life. She's
I
ensured that
understand.
that people. So I still have Glucon D that she brings. I don't use
That's
it.
actually a very good idea. I'm going to follow that.
Oh, I
Keeping a
can give you
glucose
tips from my
bottle in
mother
the
because she's lived in a time when there was no social media, there was no phones, there was landlines
I
I was
know.
telling before. So call the teacher up and just find out what's happening. Or when at the workplace, she always had a number of someone who worked next to me. In college, she always had someone's number. She's in
Mhm.
constant, I feel like she's in a constant phase of stress, unfortunately, bless her. But school, college, university, workplace, every workplace, and now my husband, if I don't message, if I don't message till date, husband gets a message. Thrice a day she'll message me. I wake up, all fine. First message to my mother. I'm like, yes, mom, I'm fine. But it just shows that after nearly 30 years, a mother is a mother. She's going to still be worried. And I'm like, mom, I have confidence. I have Dexcom. Dexcom gives me alerts. And I know my body so well today. But a mom is still worried. She will still message me every single time. Are you fine? Is everything okay? No message, direct call to my husband. Is she okay?
Husband.
I was like, yes, I'm fine. I'm thriving. It's all good. But I think the journey from low carb, from a very high carb diet to going low carb and moderate protein, I think was such a big deal.
Game changer, yeah.
It was, especially because I come from a South Indian family. So, for context, people who don't know, very high carb. I think, I mean, most of the world actually has high carbohydrates because it's cost effective. No one can afford so much of protein and fats. But it was dosa, idlis, all the stuff from breakfast to lunch to zoli rice, dinner rice. And I kept eating all of that because it was a balanced diet that we were taught in school and college. That this is what you
Exactly.
feed your child. So I used to have 400, 300, 400 grams of carbs. I never gained weight. That's also because of my family, the genetics. My mom doesn't is not very she's as thin as I am. So it was from there to moving to low carb was firstly a mental block. How do you give up? How do you give up all of this food? What do you eat? Is this even tasty? But it was a full journey moving there. And this is why I keep mentioning Dr. Roshni and her book. Because if she had not sat there, explained to me that it's not just sugar, it is carbohydrates, doing carb count. No one had taught me carb counts. I didn't know what carb count was. I didn't know anything. I just avoided sugar and chocolates. And then she actually sat there with carbs. And I started swapping out rice for chocolate. I said, chocolate is 5 grams of carbs. If I have my vati of rice, that's 45 grams of carbs. And rice by itself does not have taste. You need to make it flavorful. So just became mindful eating, thinking, reading. Because when you are already an adult and you've grown up eating this, it's so much harder to actually go back to simple foods, organic foods, vegetables. And then I'm not a vegetarian, but I
Okay.
consume a lot of vegetables right now because vegetables is my carbohydrates, salads. Um,
Complex carbs. Yeah.
yeah, so I have a lot of salads. I have a lot of vegetables, cooked vegetables, so Indian style cooking. I have loads of those, and then it's more of proteins. So variety of proteins that I have. I know you mentioned someone mentioned protein powder. Um,
Powder earlier, but now discontinued because no brand is giving without artificial sweeteners. That's true because most of them contains maltodextrin and fructose, and they claim to be diabetic friendly, but they are not. So yes, food and ingredients matter. We cannot talk about diabetes management without talking about food. And thankfully, the food inspection here is so strict that I do not have to worry about food much. And protein, all types of protein, vegetables, they are easily accessible here. You get every vegetables from different parts of region here in supermarkets like W Mart, Carrefour. And then we have amazing online option. You can order groceries online from Noon, Kareem's, Smiles, and then you have organic food options that you can order. They have different websites for it. One is organic foodsandcafe.com. I ordered all my toothpaste and basic stuff from there without fluoride and all. So yes, you have many options here. And you get fresh butters, variety of cheese in supermarkets as well. Like Carrefour has a great variety. You get really good variety of cheese over there.
I went to
But they
Carrefour.
have less shelf life as compared to the processed ones. So we
Yeah.
skip the processed food.
Yeah, Carrefour, I liked it. When I was in Dubai, I went to Carrefour and we had bought everything
It's
that.
actually coming to India as well.
Oh,
I
nice.
recently read a post on LinkedIn that Carrefour is coming to India.
That's exciting. I think that is
Yeah.
one challenge I had with India was fresh cheese. You need to literally need to find that fresh cheese options. So, I mean, you get a lot of for vegetarians, for example, it's tougher because of by
Mhm.
default there is carbs there in some form. Like lentils, obviously have carbohydrates. I
Mm.
have the option of doing completely low carb because I can have animal protein. But in
Mhm.
India, it was tough because of fresh cheese. And I remember my husband and I used to keep searching. When I say keep searching, I mean he used to do the research. He's done a lot of research. I should just eat. But it was identifying where you get those fresh cheese from. Or we used to have Greek yogurt. Like yogurt,
Mhm.
like Greek yogurt has more protein than actual the regular yogurt. So in the
Yogurts.
UK, you get amazing quality of Greek yogurt. So we have Greek yogurt paneer. I like the
Hmm.
paneer obviously much better, but here whatever paneer you get, I'm happy with that. But we have those mix of nuts. India has so many options of nuts. Nuts are so
Hmm.
good. You get seeds. So here we have pumpkin seeds, but you get all of this in India. You get your nuts there.
Mm.
Cheese is, I know, a little hard, a little tough in India, but you have some places where you get fresh cheese because we used to order from there. But here we get
Mm.
loads of options of cheese. And
Yeah.
those who are
Different.
worried about cholesterol, cheese is not the problem for that. That's a separate conversation on cholesterol and lipid profile there, because I've gone to, again, Dr. Roshni about lipids, because when you go on low carb and you pick up a bit more moderate protein and higher fat,
Healthy
moderate
fats. Yeah.
it does impact your lipid profile. But typically, you look at triglycerides and HDL ratio. So I had so many nuts, my HDL was like super high. But along with that, here you get all your vegetables, but
Hmm.
many of them are imported because it's a cold country. Luckily, I have
Hmm.
some sunlight, or you'll see me in the dark here. But it's you have to import a lot of the vegetables. But we just stick to some of the non-starchy vegetables, always organic. Like you said about protein powders and protein bars, many of these have chemicals in them. So we've listed down which ones we can actually have. So which is why we've avoided all of this together, because there are sweeteners, there are chemicals. It looks like a chemistry lab, and I'm a chemistry graduate. So I've seen so many names that I'm wondering, why am I seeing it in food? So every place we go, we just reject stuff, and we stick
Hmm.
to butter, ghee, coconut oil as a basics, just and
Olive oil.
olive oil for salads, but not
Hmm.
for cooking as such. And then
Cooking. Yeah.
so we use those as your basics there, and by default always is a protein, and one meal is eggs that we keep doing. Anyone who can have eggs is one of the best source of protein. And then you
Protein.
get
Yeah.
grass fed animal protein here,
Butters.
which is
Okay.
better than the regular one. Chicken we've avoided a lot because of people inject hormones, and it's very hard to get chickens which are not injected. So
Non-injected.
it's very
So
tough.
talking about hormone injection, we do get here eggs and chickens, specially certified as non-hormonal injection free,
Mhm.
and yeah, and grass-fed butters and cheese are also available here.
Yeah, we get
So
free
for
range.
animal protein, I stick to chicken and then maybe salmon once in a while, but I don't know whether it's wild caught or fresh or
Yes,
farm
especially if it's
raised.
in
But
Dubai. It's supposed to be in the North Atlantic cold waters.
no, but they do source protein
Farming.
and vegetables from different regions, no? So
Yeah, I've in
there
Dubai.
is a possibility.
Dubai is a place I had salmon for the first time, and I was very shocked how salmon reached there. But it's a very good source for vitamin D as well, and many
I
other
know.
bits there. So we have a lot of fish, and surprising in the UK, we get everything from India.
Okay.
There are a lot of Indians here. I've heard eight language. I have heard eight different Indian languages while walking in London. It's good to see so many Indians here, but that also means there are so many Indian shops. There are so many Indian ingredients. Every vegetable is here. Fish is from India. You get fresh in London. Depends on which part of London you stay.
Same.
Rest
Yeah.
of UK I can't comment because I'm sure. So I mean, there are Indians in various pockets, but I'm not sure where you
Hmm.
specifically get. But everything from India you can get, including Muska Chaska biscuits. You get five star. You get, I don't know,
Everything. Yeah, I know. I know.
in every part here, which I'm very
Everything.
surprised. I didn't expect that. But there are a lot of Indian communities that give you food if you have to. But I,
Hmm.
out of choice, um, always we have home food. Always cook food at home. It's sort of choice. We have 2 meals a day, but we always ensure that we cook it because it's in my control. What is being
Hmm.
added? I know what
Put
flavor,
in it. Yeah.
what masala is being added. Are you adding things just for flavor? I have like a lot of trust issues. Many Indian restaurants here might add sugar to balance the palate.
Sugar and ketchup.
For the
Yeah.
British, for the British palate, they can add sugar. Like chicken tikka is very sweet, so I just don't have some
They
of
do
those.
that in Indian restaurant in India as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't have CGM that time, you see. So I was a guinea pig. My husband said, let's eat from out. And then my show goes 260. And I'm like, why? I'm like, I'll die with this experiment. So now it's easier to possibly do that. And oh, we also get something called cauliflower rice. Uh,
Mm-hmm. You
it's
can make it
fresh.
at home as well. Yeah.
So to make it at home, the quantity I eat is a lot. I eat a lot of vegetables. So we actually get this and I take it to work where it's like rice and then I just add egg and ensure that it's done there. But it's not there's no sulfites or chemicals added to it. It's just
Mm.
pure
Yeah.
cauliflower because UK has to
Only
follow
rice.
those standards. When UK says it's not there, it's not there because they
It's
can.
not there because I have seen a reel that went viral recently from the UK that American products are being labeled that it has red color, red 40, which is not good for your health. So we have similar things here in Dubai as well. They have Arabic brandings, which specifically says that so and so product has so and so additional colors which are not good for your health. So those products are kept here, but with a warning. And even though we have everything here, it's quite expensive. So most of my food products also I source it from India, like the unblanched almond flour or monk fruit sweetener. I source it from India. Even patch removers like these, I get it from India
Oh,
because
okay.
it's expensive here. And then the patches which are used here are the transparent one, the normal transparent one. But Shivina got allergic to it, so we source this not just a patches from Amazon USA. And I also source my syringes, which is zero point 0.3 ml, 6 syringe from the USA Amazon app. Otherwise, you get everything like glucometer and all contour glucometer or strips. You get easily from any pharmacy. They have Binsina, Live Pharmacy, Aster Pharmacy. They also have websites where you can order from. And Abort Libre has their educational center here where you can go if you're not confident to put the CGM yourself, they can teach you and help you with it. They have education centers here, and we have in CGMs we have Dexcom and About Libre. But I source links from their official website. I still don't know how to replace link sensor because we've not faced that issue yet. And vitamin D is not covered here. So vitamin D we have to buy on our own for Shivina or for anyone else as well. Keto strips I got from India, but these are useless. Like it hardly makes any
Oh,
sense.
I have the same
Um,
one. It's from
but
India.
it's useless. You have to use ketone blood meter.
Yeah, blood tap. Yeah.
And I use Tristar 2-in-1 glucose and ketone monitor. But for daily purpose, for only glucose monitoring, I use the basic version of Tristar. It is much more accurate than the one touch ones, but like contour is a bit on the expensive side, so I moved to Tristar.
Okay. I have the same urine test strips. I just carried that because I was moving to the UK. I was super stressed about what you get in this country, which is funny because it's a first world country. But I came to the UK with supplies for
But and
years.
you never know the charges, no? That is why
Yeah, I
maybe.
wasn't sure what it is, so I carried
Yeah.
those. But they give you the blood ketone strips. Give you
That
the
is a better version.
it is a dual one, so you can get your sugar and your ketones. Thankfully,
Yeah.
I didn't have to use it, but I carry it wherever I travel because I
This
travel
is
a lot. Oh, okay, okay. So
so you
mine is
can check your ketones and blood both
yes.
on this.
So like because sometimes you might need it, just don't know. But here, yeah. So I just carry it. I have all of these things just kept here for emergency reasons, but haven't used it. But I source because this country doesn't get sunlight. Vitamin D by default. Whoever comes from India, I'm like, please get vitamin D
Please
because
get vitamin D. Yeah.
we have to obviously pay for it. You can get it from salmon, but I don't think that's enough because there's barely sunlight. And coming from Mumbai, there's always sunlight on my face, so I was
Sunlight.
a little shocked. But yeah, so by default, there's vitamin D that we do, and we also take some supplements out of choice. Again, it's not the doctors have said it, but
Mm-hmm.
my husband and I listen to a lot of podcasts on lifestyle management, health, and also speak to Dr. Roshni to understand things that the body needs, like omega 3. So we pop in some of those supplements which you don't get from, for example,
Food.
from which is harder. It's more difficult these days. So those we definitely get. Tablets also, for example, antibiotics in these like in Western countries, they don't give you antibiotics like they give in India. India gets
Hmm.
antibiotics easily, but I always keep them for worst case scenario because with type 1 diabetes, you get one infection can just quickly just escalate. So because my mother's a doctor, she can do the prescription herself.
Prescription, yeah.
Yeah, and then she's come and she just keeps putting it there. So I have like a little pharmacy in my house with BP, with a BP machine, loads of tablets, all kinds of antibiotics, I don't know what all she thinks is going to happen to me, but everything is here. Just because your NHS can take time. For people like me, they
Hmm.
usually go much faster. But sometimes it's antibiotics is not always a solution that people will give you. So
Hmm.
I didn't have to take antibiotics for a very, very long time because my immunity's come much, much stronger with fasting, food, meditation, resistance training, all of the good stuff. It's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
But I just have it for worst case scenarios. But they give us flu jabs here. It's free.
Okay.
It's free here
Okay.
for people with
It's
diabetes.
free here as well.
Oh, they give
But
you all
I
those.
opt not to take flu jab. Yeah.
Oh, no, I take because here everyone falls sick. Every season, people are sick over here. So I wear a mask in the public transportation because it's just to be safe. They give you the pneumonia vaccine as well. If you have
Okay.
diabetes, it's a lifelong vaccine that they give you here. So
Okay.
I used to take in India, but that was 5 years. This is a lifelong vaccine. So they give you some of those basic measures, they and some other tests that they check. Annual diabetes check for your fingers,
Mm-hmm.
toes, BP. They make you just check some of those basic things as they move along. But in terms of diet, which you were talking about before, they don't necessarily give you any specific diet to follow. It's your choice. They say if you eat carbs, eat your carbs, take insulin for it. So they will work with your lifestyle.
That's good. Yeah.
They don't necessarily say you have to eat it because it's everyone's choice in the end of the day. I'm choosing to eat what I'm eating and I'm enjoying what I'm eating. That's also
Hmm.
because initially I had to get the idea of this out of my head that it's really bad. But now we found like cauliflower rice and I have my chicken curry with it and I love it. And I don't miss it because my blood sugar is brilliantly falling in a line. So if we have dessert, but you'll use almond flour and then enjoy it with and we have stevia powder which I got from India and it's still surviving. Stevia is something we got from there. Erythritol is something we get here, doesn't spike your blood sugar, but so we enjoy those bits in between if you want to have it. Or dark chocolate is good, so we have a little bit of that. So like I said, I would rather have my chocolate than have rice.
Rice.
So I will enjoy my
Talking
food.
about sweet treats, we get American products here as well, like Quest cookies, Quest bars, protein bars, and keto ice creams, which are like hardly 4 grams of net carbs. And the ingredients are also very good. So we do indulge in some sweet treats once in a while for Shivina.
But we should.
Otherwise, I prefer making it at home.
Yeah, usually
Like I
we.
make desserts for her at home.
Yeah, I mean we usually we do it at home again because we've seen some of these keto bars and keto ice creams. Here are the ones we've seen. Some have too many ingredients, and then we're like, nope. If it's more than three, let's not take it. It's not.
Yeah, even I prefer sticking to 3 ingredients. But for keto ice creams, I would like to add that they do use many ingredients, but those are not going to harm you because
The
there
natural,
are,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, natural ones. Like the keto is the brand name, keto, and then you get Rebel ice cream, Next ice cream from America over here. Those are expensive, but once in a while it is okay, and you get those in Grandiose, Waitrose, Lulu,
Oh, you have
hypermarkets.
Waitrose there. You have Waitrose in
Yeah,
Dubai. Oh
yeah.
my God, that's like the biggest one here.
Spinneys, Waitrose, you get all kinds of dressings, cheese, vegetables, sweet treats,
Okay.
diabetic friendly, all the diabetic friendly ones here.
Oh, that's very, very interesting because Waitrose is one of the biggest ones here, but it's very expensive. It's one of the most
It
expensive
is.
supermarkets here. The only time I had ice cream was when Nupur, when she came to London, and she told me about this ice cream. I think was it Oppo or was that a phone brand? I think Oppo was her ice cream that she had mentioned. I think that's right. Nupur will correct me if it's wrong, but that's when I had a keto, like a lower carb ice cream for the first time. And I was like, oh, it's not bad. I got the flavor of it and I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. Sometimes you want to feel regular because, and just again, for anyone who's looking at UK, it's a little hard sometimes for socializing. A lot of
Okay.
socializing here happens over drinks. So it's wine. And I never drank wine in India. So for me, it was a bit of a cultural and medical lot of conflicts in my head like should I be having it, why should I need to have wine, but that's something that people do here to bond and meet with people. Like you would get a lot of food, We'll have chai, for example, sit together and have a tea time thing. But here it's more of drinks. So over time, I've moved to sparkling water. I've had wine. My
Mhm.
blood sugar didn't spike, but people are also very, very inclusive. I need to really mention this. People are extremely inclusive, very well aware of diabetes. Like in India, I had to explain diabetes to many people. No one knew what carbohydrates was, but here, minute you tell diabetes, like, okay, what can you have? What diet
Mhm.
requirements do you have? What everyone has made exceptions for me. Like even if it's a big event, I would get a special. I got a big fish once only for me. The entire restaurant was looking at me because I has diabetes. They didn't put any sugar and they made simple stuff there. So they're very inclusive in those bits, and it helps.
Same thing is here. Like even for Diwali parties and all, my friends asked me specifically if there is any restriction or any food that I would want to have or not have. And then even when we go out in restaurant, if you ask them not to put certain ingredients, they are very
Yes,
inclusive.
yes,
Like
yes.
we have this amazing cafe from New Delhi, the Big Chill Cafe. It's here in Dubai, Emirates Mall. Dubai Hills Mall, sorry. Yeah. So we went there once and we asked them to make simple basic roast chicken with garlic and all. So they prepared it specially for Shivina and she loved it. She enjoyed it. So people here are also very inclusive. We have certain health cafes that provides you with almond flour pizzas.
Oh,
And they
nice.
also mention the calorie part, the nutritional breakdown
Yeah,
like
yeah, they
fat,
have to
carbs
go.
and all. Yeah. So that is the best part of living
Yeah,
here.
that helps a lot, right?
Yes,
India, please
exactly.
add that nutritional value. It really helps. They mentioned these are the carbs, these are the proteins. So it helps me so much not to sit and stare and calculate and magically get
Calculate.
answers. I was like, what could this be? So it has helped. UK has some of these options of almond flour based. But I think when I went to
Mm-hmm.
US, I got the most number of options. Oh, the amount of
Mm-hmm.
keto and almond flour based options, cauliflower based pizzas. So here they have some
Mm-hmm.
options, but you have to dig and find, and then you can probably get it. But if you go, like most of the countries, and maybe this is when I was in India, I never asked because I was a child when I was diagnosed. Every country I've traveled, and I've traveled a lot since getting married. My husband, he's the most positive influence I had. Every country we've gone to, he would go and tell people, not me, because I was embarrassed, that she has diabetes. Can you please help her? Can you just request that people actually make that effort? There are people who've actually cried looking at me like, I'm so sorry, I'll help you out. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's been years. It's okay. But I never spoke up. So since moving to the UK, I feel more confident and I tell people, I cannot do that. Can you please get this? So every country, whether South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, US, wherever I've been, I've just started telling people, I can't eat this. Because in here, the UK, people actually say it. In India, you don't because you're worried you're offending someone. There, everyone is open and they have made so many, every part, even the Amazon rainforest. I was in the Amazon rainforest and they made exceptions for me. They got avocado for me and cheese and specific things. And mango, they said, don't have it. We'll get you something else, berries. And I'm thinking, how are they so considerate in the Amazon rainforest, in the middle of nowhere? But
Yeah.
he asked again. I was embarrassed, but it was just of asking and requesting. And I think people are lovely everywhere. It's just of asking, I
You
think.
just need to ask, yeah, ask them and request them, yeah. So
Yeah,
even schools here are very supportive. They do have school nurses from what I get to know from different parents whom I met at my doctor's visit. And they tell me that the school, even teachers and friends are very inclusive. They know how one or the other children here, they do have type 1. Like even in the community that I live in,
yeah.
just now we had Halloween and everyone was so inclusive. Even though she could not enjoy candies and all, she participated with everyone. And one girl here, she knows about type 1 diabetes because her friend has type 1. So she takes care of Shivina. And yeah,
Oh, that's
people are
lovely.
really very sweet and helpful. Even from India, they are really sweet. Like,
Yeah,
I'm really lucky to have friends here.
yeah. I mean,
They mean more than family. Yeah,
no, it matters just having that. Like I said, as a child, I didn't have
that
any.
kind of support.
Yeah, anyone who had diabetes. I didn't know anyone. And the one person I knew was Nupur, who we met very briefly and then didn't we weren't in touch. So for me, it was all about loneliness. So just having someone makes a lot of difference. And I just saw Snehal's questions on challenges that we face for in Dubai and UK. So I can kick off. For me, I've mostly spoken on the positive sides because that's how I felt. The only challenge I would say, and there's more of adjusting, is the weather. The weather has a huge impact on you when you see sunlight through the day, and by December the sun will set by 3:30 p.m. So it starts impacting you. That also impacts your activity level because you don't want to walk, you don't want to move out, you won't step out in the dark and go to the park. So it's about how you manage that. Also, the insulin requirements change a lot based on the
Yeah.
weather. So it's how you manage that, your diet, how you continue to stay active. And I've found I just do spot running. I run in the house, I walk in the house, I still eat from home. So mentally, I'm like, it's fine. Outside, it must be dark, but your body just follows that. I think that's been, for me, I think that was the biggest possible challenge, was just adjusting to the weather and finding out a way to survive in that. But what has been your biggest challenge in Dubai?
Dubai, here, medical expenses are a lot. Like insurance is the first thing that you need to talk about once you shift to UAE because medical expenses are really high. And that's it. I think there are no any other challenges that I face on a daily basis
Yeah,
because
likewise.
insulin is also something that you don't get over the counter. You do need prescription for that. So yes, you have to be like very active when it comes to insulin consumption. And that's it. There are no other challenges that I
I like
face
how
as
both
such.
of us are like, there's no
I
challenges.
know.
I mean, because it's, I've actually been the fittest I've ever been in my life since moving to the UK. And one of the biggest contributing factor is work-life balance, uh,
Yes.
because of the fact that you don't work for long hours in India. Unfortunately, you end up working for
Hmm.
much longer hours, and that impacts everything. The fact
I
that
know.
I work in an organization that lets me have flexible hours and I work for specific times, like I can choose when I have to take breaks. So I start a day with meditation, and then I probably do strength training and resistance training. Then I'm fasting. They let you take breaks in between so you can go for a walk. I run in the house to balance blood sugar. So for me, it's been super fit. And I think the biggest thing for me is the for India would be about um, the work life issues. I've worked like crazy hours, and that is absolutely unhealthy. I wouldn't. The sedentary lifestyle itself impacts your body. I would never ever get up, but
Stress and
now I
all, yeah.
just, yeah, because I mean everyone is sitting from the laptop, but now I can get up, I can
Hmm.
walk. I do walk, I run, I do video calls with my mother for lunch break, but I run with it. So that amazing work-life balance is something that I never got in India. The biggest thing for me in the UK is balancing that and living life. So yeah, I think that's the positive side for anyone that's there. And
My
I'm
husband is saying sometimes it's challenging in summer here in Dubai. Yeah, that's true because it's so hot and her insulin levels needs it drops drastically. So we have
yeah,
to keep her inside the house, keep her cold. Yeah, that's one challenge that we face during the summer.
yeah, I'm sure Dubai is much hotter than London. We
Very
get
hot.
sunny,
Like
but
sometimes the temperature goes to 50 degree or above.
no, no, we are reaching this 25 and 30, but when it does get hot. So the blood vessels obviously change, and that impacts your blood sugar. So we're just managing, which is why CGM. I come back all to the CGM.
Hmm.
CGM is something that's changed my life, and I'm very grateful for that. But also conscious, we have 2 minutes left. If anyone has any other questions that you all have had, please feel free to mention that. Um, I can just see most people talking about weather, but yeah, because we can always answer questions after that as well, because I'm sure people might have some thoughts around that. But just want to mention that November 14th is World Diabetes Day. But through the month of November, we'll be looking at how people live with diabetes in various parts of the world. So I know we're doing UK and UAE this Sunday, but we'll be covering various other parts there. So stay tuned for knowing more about those experiences as such. And thank you everyone who has joined. Thank you for listening to us while we had a very nice conversation. And definitely follow all of Blue Circle Libraries Foundation on social platforms because they're doing a lot of good stuff. from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Wow, there's so many platforms that they're part of. And there are a lot of local meets up in your cities. So it'd be great to see if there's some events coming up, and you can always join them there. We had one with London recently. I'm sure in Dubai you'll have that as well. But meet your people. Community support matters a lot, especially in countries like UK. No one speaks much to you, so I think the community matters a lot. But thank
Yeah.
you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.